Most of us are chasing a ghost. We spend our entire lives running after more money, thinking it's the key to everything, only to find that the finish line just keeps moving further away. We end up stressed out, anxious, and just unfulfilled. But what if the problem isn't how hard we're working, but that we're playing the wrong game entirely? Today, we're going to tear that whole idea apart and redefine what it means to be truly wealthy.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a quote that's designed to make you hit the pause button. A monthly salary, as dangerous as heroin? I mean, that sounds crazy, right? But think about it. That steady paycheck, it can create a powerful dependency. It traps you into renting out your time year after year, upgrading your lifestyle just enough to stay on that treadmill, always chasing the next little fix. It's comfortable, for sure, but that comfort can cost you your freedom. And this really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? If the whole point of making money is to solve our problems, why does the constant chase for it seem to create so many more? Why is our world so obsessed with this hustle culture when it seems to be producing way more anxiety than it is abundance? And look, this isn't just a hunch or a feeling, it's a documented fact. This chart right here shows a seriously vicious cycle that's backed by a ton of research. On one side, you've got a direct link. Financial struggles are tied to higher symptoms of depression and anxiety. Then, that stress makes it even harder to think clearly and manage your money, which, you guessed it, makes your mental health even worse. It's a downward spiral, and it proves this chase is literally making us sick. So how do we get out of this trap? Well, it all starts with understanding a super important difference that most people completely miss. We have to stop confusing being rich with being truly wealthy. Believe me, they are two completely different games. So let's get crystal clear on what we're talking about. Wealth, it's not a number in your bank account. It's not a Lamborghini. True wealth is a system. It's owning assets, things like a piece of a business, software you've created, or investments that make money for you even when you're not actively working. The real goal of wealth isn't to buy more stuff. It's to buy your freedom. Freedom from having to be somewhere you don't want to be, at a certain time, doing something you don't want to do.
Now, compare that to what most people are actually chasing when they say they want to be rich. What they really want is status. Status is just your rank in the social pecking order. And this is a really dangerous game because it's what we call zero sum. For you to win, someone else has to lose. For you to move up, someone else has to move down. It's built on competition and combat, and that's a perfect recipe for anger and anxiety. Just look at these two paths side by side. On the left, that's the hamster wheel. That's the status game. Renting out your time for money, stuck in a zero-sum competition where you're always trying to one-up the next person. But on the right, that's the path of the truly wealthy. It's not about running faster. It's about building something. It's about building assets and owning equity. This is a positive sum game where you create new value and make the whole pie bigger for everyone. All right, so the big takeaway here is you've got to switch from playing the status game to playing the wealth game. But how do you actually build those assets that create freedom? The answer is in understanding the new rules of leverage.
Listen, you can't get wealthy just by working harder. It's not going to happen. Real fortunes are built using leverage. And all leverage is a tool that multiplies the impact of your work and your decisions. If you're just putting in the hours, your output is always going to be one-to-one. But with leverage, it can become exponential. And this slide, man, it just lays it out perfectly. You can see how leverage has changed over time. A long time ago, it was labor, getting people to work for you. Then came capital, using money to make more money. But here's the catch. Both of those required someone's permission. You needed someone to agree to follow you, or you needed someone to give you their money. The absolute revolution today is the rise of permissionless leverage. This is the new frontier, right here. Code and media are easily the most powerful forms of leverage in the world today. You can write a piece of software or create a piece of content like this explainer we're watching, and it costs nothing extra to serve it to 1 million people versus just one person. That's what no marginal cost of replication means. You don't need anyone's permission to start, and the best part? These are assets that literally work for you while you sleep. Okay, so you have the tools, this new permissionless leverage, but you can't just swing a hammer around and expect to build a house, right? A tool is useless without the right strategy. This is not about getting rich quick. This is about building wealth that lasts. And that requires a fundamental shift in your mindset. You have to start playing the long game. Playing the long game really comes down to these 3 core pillars. First, you have to arm yourself with something called specific knowledge. That's your unique edge. Second, you have to build trust by taking on accountability, putting your own name on the line.
And third, you have to realize that all the big returns in life come from compound interest, so you have to play long-term games with long-term people. Let's break these down real quick.
So, what in the world is specific knowledge? Well, it's not something you can learn from a class or a textbook. It's that unique blend of your personal obsessions, your natural talents, and the skills you pick up because you're genuinely curious. It's the thing you do for fun that feels like play to you, but to anybody else watching, it looks like incredibly hard work. That is your secret weapon.
And that leads to this incredibly powerful idea. The only way to truly escape competition is through authenticity. When you build on your specific knowledge, you are literally creating a category of one. You're the best in the world at being you. Your uniqueness isn't some feel-good platitude, it's your single greatest strategic advantage.
So, how do you put all this together? It all boils down to this simple two-word mantra: productize yourself. Yourself is your unique input, your authenticity, your specific knowledge. Productize is the system, using the leverage of code and media to scale that uniqueness and share it with the world. This is it. This is the core formula for building real wealth in the modern age.
We've talked about the what, the why, and the how. But what is this all really for? What's the point? This brings us to our final and honestly, the most important section. The ultimate prize isn't just freedom, it's peace.
Let's be really clear about something. Wealth is an amazing tool. It's incredible. It absolutely solves all of your money problems. It buys you your freedom, it lets you control your own time, and it helps you escape that soul-crushing grind of a job you hate.
But that's where its power stops. Dead in its tracks. Once all the noise of worrying about bills and rent fades away, a much deeper silence shows up. And in that quiet space, you start to realize that what you were really looking for was something else entirely. The great paradox is that wealth's biggest gift is giving you the clarity to see everything that it can't buy.
And this right here, this is the ultimate truth. The things that really form the foundation of a good life, a calm mind, a healthy body, and real loving relationships, you can't buy them. There's no price tag. They have to be earned. Earned with your effort, your attention, and your time. And the greatest gift of wealth is that it gives you that time back, so you can focus on earning them. So we end up right back where we started, but with a choice. You can keep playing the zero-sum game of chasing status and money, or you can start playing the long game, the infinite game of building true wealth to buy back your freedom. Now that you know the rules, there's really only one question left. What game are you going to play?